Hello guys, thank you for joining us today. So we will start the session in a few more minutes, right? So before we start the session, I will need you to do me a favor. Please scan the QR code on the screen and vote for TM for the Graduate's Choice Award. Also share to your friends and you will stand a chance to win the attractive prizes. Thank you.
This is the boy who wanted a nasi lemak, who ordered from this app that pinged makcik and her husband to sell, that paid for his son's education, that uses the telecommunications network that connects to the data center to power the app that watered the farm, that created jobs for them, including the makcik who prepared her packets for the boy who wanted a nasi lemak. Digital Malaysia keeps us connected so we can all reach further for a better Malaysia.
All right, sorry for the technical problem. If you feel the video just now is kind of lagging, we will post the link for you, then you can go and watch from your own connection, right? Okay, very good morning to everyone. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Ethan from Talentbank. And today we are very honored to have Puan Khairulbariah Dzun Nurin from Telecom Malaysia. You can call her as Puan KB as well, to give her wonderful sharing session. Throughout this session, if you have any question, please drop it into the Q&A box and we will have a Q&A session at the end of this webinar, right? All right, so before we welcome Puan KB, let me introduce a little bit about her. So Puan KB is the head of Design Thinking and User Experience Research Department in Telecom Malaysia. She has more than 20 years of experience across local SME and conglomerate, MNC, and also GLC, across different fields, including event management, computer manufacturing, as well as telecommunication. She graduated from the University at Buffalo School of Management, the State of New York in Bachelor of Science in Management, Finance, International Trade, and Human Resource in year 1998. After that, she continued her study at Cranfield School of Management in Leadership Development, as well as Stanford University in Hasselt-Plattner Institute of Design in year 2015 and 2017, respectively. She's definitely a curious, energetic queen bee who is always looking out for stories of why and what makes people tick. And I believe that you guys will know more about her during her sharing session, right? So without further ado, I pass the mic to Puan KB. Hi, Puan KB.
Hi, Ethan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum, everybody. And thank you, Ethan, for the lovely introduction. Made me feel like, wow, okay, I did this. Anyways, when you said that, I graduated in 1998, I was like, alamak, I feel so old, because I guess some of you who are in this session may not have been born in 1998, or you have just been born. So that's how old I am, I guess. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through my slides. I guess I am going to start sharing my screen. Yeah, Ethan, yeah?
All right. You can just take over it.
All right, I'm going to take over. Oh, somebody said, Tiara Nazri said that she was only 1 year old when I graduated in 1998. Okay, let's see. Okay, everybody can see my screen, and I will do a slideshow. Can you see my slideshow already?
Yeah, can.
Yeah, you can see my slideshow. All right, just give me a minute. Okay. So basically, today's session, usually when it's this kind of session, what we will do is that we will talk about, going for interviews and writing your resumes and things like that. So I discussed with the team, and I decided that this time around, what we're going to do is that instead of, going through that, and I'm sure there's a lot of resources out there that you can already look into writing resumes or CVs and going for your interviews, is that, looking further in at after you got the job. So, after you've got the job, congratulations, you've gotten your job now. You've just, you're so excited about it. So what happens? What do you do? A lot of people will be so nervous or, getting that first job, and at the same time also very excited, right? You are successful. Some of you may have, applied for multiple job out there, and suddenly, and waiting for it. And now suddenly you've gotten your job. So what is it? How is it? For me, when you got that first job, that's that first letter that says congratulations, or the first call that says that, hey, we want you, we think that you're the best person for this job. Take a moment to enjoy it. A lot of people started, when they got their job, what they do is that they start thinking, okay, what do I wear? What do I do? What do I, where do I go? And things like that. But, my experience, take a few moments, maybe a day or two even, just enjoy that feeling of, wow, I am getting this first job. My life is going to start, my adult life is going to be starting now. I have responsibilities that is not just about me, but it's also about my work. I'm able to now support my family. I'm going to be able to go on holidays on my own and spend my own money. All those things. Enjoy the moment. That's the first thing that you want to do, because the feeling is going to be different. Getting that first job as a full-time person as opposed to a part-time person is different. Okay, so when you look for a job, so Ethan is going to have a poll right now, and I want to know what is it that you look for when you are looking for a job. Okay, Ethan, maybe we can start with that first.
All right, can you see the poll?
Okay, we're going to give you how many minutes, Ethan, do we want to give them, or how many seconds?
I think 1 minute is enough.
All right, okay, 1 minute for you to choose. Ethan, you will flash the answer after this, right? The poll as well after this, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to show now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see the poll results? Will the participants be able to see the poll results as well, Ethan?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if you look at it here, wow. Okay, quite interesting. I'm actually impressed. A lot of you are looking more for learning experience. Okay, flexible working environment, good team members. All right, nice. Not too many sees money as a motivating factor for taking a job offer. That's nice. All right. Do we have anybody else answering, Ethan?
No.
Okay, so I think we can close this.
Okay.
All right, okay. Okay, so majority of you actually answered, it's about the learning experience, which is very nice for me, because I'll share with you what the survey says. Okay, and this is a survey that is done by a group that looks, is a HR group, yeah, a manpower group. And it's a recent survey. It's not even, a few years back. It was done in 2020. And the top priorities for students, I guess, for graduates looking for jobs is actually money. And I'm quite happy actually that, the ones that are answering this, the participants, we have almost 200 participants in this room at the moment. And money came up, I think, about 7% only, with the majority of you actually answering looking for experience, which is nice. And I think, that is a good mindset to go into looking when you're, starting your career or your job, because money will come in. I promise you, money, inshallah, you work hard and, you prove yourself, it will come in. But the most important part of it is that when you go into a job is that, what do I get out of it from a learning point of view? And that's very important, because even the worst jobs or the worst team members, if you look at it from a positive point of view, where, what do you learn from this? What can I learn? What can I do? What can I not do in future? If let's say you go for into a job and you have a terrible team member, they don't share information with you, they don't help you, you learn from that, because what you do is that then you realize that, okay, this is not something that I want to be. So I will always remember that experience of, people not sharing information with me. How do I feel? So the next time when you have someone who just joined your team, or, you're going to be, inshallah, going to be managing people, then you remember that you're going to remember that, oh, the feeling of, when people don't share information with you. So then, you learn from that. That's very important. Of course, money is important, especially in this day and age, you can't live without it. But at the same time, it's not your main motivating factor. So congratulations, to you all who are going on this exciting new journey. I wish it was me, but it was that was me 20 years ago, exciting new journey of getting a job. Okay. And one thing about, your motivation, one thing you must remember is that you must check it. It's not something, an exercise that you do once and that's it. You must remember to keep on asking yourself, why am I in this job? Why do I want to do it? It's okay to be honest. And sometimes there are times when you are honest and you will say that, I need money. Maybe because, you're raising a family, you want to get married, or you want to buy a house. Then, you're very clear. The most important part about, looking for your motivation when you are in a job, or, expanding your career, is to be honest with yourself. There is nothing wrong with whatever that motivates you, as long as you're very clear, and it's something that, you don't fool yourself into saying that, oh, I have this, I want to be Mother Teresa, but actually, no, you don't want to be Mother Teresa. So, be honest is very important. Okay. So the title of this, when I decided to do this, it was like, looking at, especially with the current pandemic, and the new working environment and all, we were looking at, okay, what does it mean when we talk about digital work environment? Because there's so many interpretation of a digital work environment. Some people say that, oh, as long as I'm working with a laptop, that's already digital work environment. And it's true. Digital work environment starts with that, with having the devices or the tools to use, to make it work. But at the same time, what does it mean? And especially now when everyone is working from, majority of us is working from home. What does it mean when we talk about digital work environment? And this is something that I think even companies are struggling with in terms of defining what it is, and saying that they are digital ready or digital savvy. If you Google, there is a lot of definition, and you all are all, you all grew up with Google being part of your life. So I know that as I'm talking here, some of you may also be Googling, and looking out, okay, what are the things that, what does it mean and things like that. But basically, it means usually a digital work environment is actually a virtual infrastructure in place of a physical workplace. Gone are the days where you are fully expected to be in the office to be able to contribute to a project or to work. Okay, and I think the current pandemic has proven that, has shown that work can still continue, work can still be done even if you're not in your physical workplace. So a physical workplace, the only thing that the company would need to actually prepare is, how do you prepare your people so that they have the tools that are needed in order for them to be able to continue to work, whether it's from home. So right now I am working from home. I'm actually sitting beside my very nice window and a very nice view, very green view. And that's why my workspace, it's actually in a bedroom, so my workplace is now my bedroom. But, my workspace is a small table that I've set up for myself. And that's what it is. It can be anywhere. Your workspace can be inside of Starbucks. You know, a lot of you I know will go to cafes or McDonald's, you know, to just sit at one table. That is considered your workspace. As long as you can do your work, as long as you're comfortable, you can access the internet or you can access your team members. All that is actually part of, you know, your workspace. And obviously, you know, devices, technology tools are also important. You know, whether you're working with a device, a PC or a laptop or a mobile phone, even many of us now work with a mobile phone. We just, you know, connect to Zoom or meeting, the team meets or whatever, and using your phone. But for me, I'm a lot older, so you know, using my phone is not very comfortable because you know the screen is smaller. So I prefer actually having a laptop, you know, for me, because then the font is bigger. You know, I'm able to see people faces better rather than being on the phone. You know, when everything is smaller and not good for my eyes. Okay. And it also actually it also depends on what kind of work do you do. Because sometimes, for example, if you are an engineer or an architect, obviously your tools are going to be different. You're going to have your AutoCAD machine, you're going to probably have your drawing table and things like that. If you're a teacher will probably have two different screens, one to you know, look at what they're teaching and another one to look at the students and things like that. So it really depends on where and what you are going to be doing, okay? And also, especially these days, softwares and applications are important. Like for myself, I manage my team using Trello. Okay, so, you know, I don't even need, you know, to have a daily meeting with my team members. What they do is that they are assigned on projects and they update on Trello what they do on a daily basis. What are the things that they need? What are the support that you need? And these are some of the apps that you need. And as I suspect that majority of you who are in the early 20s or just graduated, all these applications are actually, you know, something that is at the tips of your finger, at your fingers. You are familiar with it. Compared to someone like me who, you know, who at 40 and 50, it's a bit more difficult for us, you know, because we'll need to get familiarized. So when the work from home happened, you know, some of the applications we're not familiar with, but for you all, I can guarantee it's just something that, you know, you probably don't even have pen and paper for you to write most of the things. I know that my sons go to school, go to classrooms and don't even bother looking for a pen and a paper, okay? Just to apa ni, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask at any one time, and you know, we will, Eason will look at it, and then will also prompt me to answer some of the questions, especially if it's relevant to the slides that I am presenting to you, okay? Because I want it to be a bit more relaxed. Okay. So I guess now let's go into, do we have any questions that is that requires me to answer anything, Eason?
I think you do answer this question just now, because this audience asking, would you like to share with us on how TM is coping with the new norm?
Okay. All right. Actually, TM is, I would say, Alhamdulillah, is very good in terms of coping with that new norm. You know, obviously, everyone was caught a bit, you know, we thought that it was just going to be 2 weeks. And then after that, 2 weeks, most probably about a month. And now, 1 year on, we are still, you know, majority of us are still in the work from home environment. And the thing that we have for us is that, Alhamdulillah, our, you know, various technology teams, either IT, our network team, they are all able to introduce some of the applications and some of the tools that we need to use in order for us to be able to work effectively from home quite well. So obviously there are some hiccups, you know, we learn as we go along. So for example, we use a different meeting tool when we first started the MCO. But as we go on, we realize that we cannot be limited to just one meeting tool, you know, just because it is what the company endorsed. Because, you know, we have partners and we have, you know, people that we work with who will need different kind of tools. So we adapt. And that's the one thing that I think is very important, the ability for us to adapt, especially with the, you know, fast changing world. And I believe that the other thing that TM looks into quite extensively also is the well-being of the people or the team members. At first, we were, you know, very busy in terms of, you know, going for meetings, because, you know, everybody thought that, okay, meetings means you're productive. But at the same time, you know, it eats into people's time. And, you know, working from home is different because, you know, suddenly you have your whole family also at homes. And, you know, it requires you to look at things differently. So for me, like myself, I am not so strict with my team that, you know, from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6, you must be in front of your laptop. There are times when, you know, I just give them a job to do or a task to complete, and I will give them a deadline as well. So that, you know, so if let's say I need a report or a slide or something to do, instead of saying that, okay, I want to see how you're doing it right now, I just want to say, okay, please do this and send it to me by tomorrow morning. So whether they send it to me 4 o'clock in the morning or, you know, or 12 o'clock at night, that's how they manage it. Because there are times when, you know, especially working parents, they have kids that they have to manage as well. So it's really up to, you know, it's a give and take that you have with your bosses and with your team members as well. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go on first, and then I'll answer some of the questions. Okay. I see there are some questions that are quite interesting. We have another, okay, one poll. I'm gonna let Ethan do this. Ethan, maybe we can start. I need you all to pick what are the top 3 skills that you think are important these days for you to, you know, to be successful in your career.
All right. While waiting them to vote, I just want to remind the audience, please attach your name and also your email address with your question, because TM will give away the special tokens to the most interesting or most meaningful question. So thank you.
Well, yeah, there is, with the questions, if it is picked up, you get tokens, right? And I think it's actually digital credit, e-wallet credit that you're going to be getting. So, you know, ask questions. Who knows? If you're among the lucky 10, I think, isn't right?
Yeah.
Siapa nak bagi duit for free? Okay, do we have a lot of people answering already?
I think 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Then I will share the result.
Okay, and we will share it a bit later, yeah?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I think Puan KB, you can proceed. Yeah.
All right. Okay. How do I do this? Because it's still on my screen. Do I stop share? Okay. All right. Okay. when it comes to being successful in your career, I believe that there are two parts of it as a person. Yeah, one part which is the visible part of yourself is what people see. Usually, it's your competence, and then there is also one part that takes time for it to come out, which is your character. So what does it mean? I will go through both of this and what it means, yeah, when I say competence and character. And if you look at it, this Stephen Covey, he is I hope you all know who he is. He's a very well-known, guru for management, for business, for work, what do you call these skills. And he said that trust, character versus competence. What he said is that trust is a function of two things, character and competence. Character includes your integrity, your motive, and your intent with people. Whereas your competence is actually your capabilities, your skills, and your track record. Both are important. Okay, so it's not something that you only focus on character and then you forget about your competence, especially when you start working. And then there is another, person here, John Wooden. He said that, whatever that you do, be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Because reputation is something that you project outside, what people see. And, it's not necessarily what's in you. Okay, it can be reputation, you are known as a, what do you call this, as a friendly person. But where else actually, when you look at a friendly person, you look at how they treat other people, not just the important ones. You look at how they treat even the guard or the secretary at work. How do they treat them? That is important. That is your character. Okay. Right. And then, okay. So when we talk about character, what it means is that, when I look at character, and this is something that I always emphasize when I'm looking for candidates, I don't bother so much about the skills, because I believe that, at the point when you come to me and you reach me, HR has, obviously already vet through the resumes or the CVs, and what your skills are, how what you graduate in, whether you're a dean's list, or you've achieved 4.0, all that is already in your resume. However, it's something that I look for a bit more is in terms of who you are. What qualities do you have as a person? It could be, from the way that you answer your calls, or the way that you share your thoughts and ideas. And sometimes, it starts from the first time when you come into the door, the first day that you come into the door, and when you start working. And usually people are nervous, you don't know what to do. And this is where your character usually comes out strongly, because you're not even thinking about it, how you greet people in the morning, whether you are being nice to usually the first person in the morning that is there at the office is, or available, is actually the cleaners. So how do you treat your cleaners in the office? Or when you go into a meeting, do you keep quiet, or do especially now with virtual meetings, right? Do you keep quiet, or do you actually switch on your microphone and just quickly say good morning, assalamualaikum, just to be friendly? All that is part of your character. But at the same time, it also is about yourself, your moral self. So for me, the one question that you always ask when it comes to character is that, when you die, I know it's a bit morbid, but this is something that you want to, think about, is that how do you want people to remember you? And it is your first job. talk about you, whether they're going to say, oh, you know, she is great, she treats people nice, she is friendly, she's always, can you all hear me now? She is, you know, she is quick to volunteer to help others. Or are people going to say, oh, you know, she's only friendly with the bosses. She doesn't even talk to us, the guards and things like that. So that's how your character is. And I shared some of the examples of character because character is something that usually after a while people will be able to see. You will not be able to fool people for a very long time when it comes to character. So it's something that, you know, is that you develop from very young, or some of it is even inborn, you know. Okay, so that's character. Do we have any questions that when it comes to okay. Okay, let's look at competence first, and then I'll answer some questions. Okay. Okay, diligence. Usually, when you talk about competence is something that you can develop. It's the skills, you know, whether you can write. You know, if you want to be able to be a good writer, what you do is that you develop your reading skills and you continue writing short sentences, writing one paragraph, and writing one page, and you continue doing that. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. So competence, when we talk about competence, it is actually the knowledge, the skills, and the behavior. So there is part of character just now, which is your behavior that will fall into what, when people say that, oh, she is competent, that means, you know, you have the right skills, you have the right knowledge, and that at the same time, you have the right behavior or attitude that is required for you to be able to perform your job well, regardless of any job. So there are competencies that you have that may be across board. So for example, reading, writing, doing arithmetic, mathematics, you know, is something that across board, everybody needs to have it to some level, you know. But for example, if you're an engineer, then obviously you're going to need more of sciences or mathematics skills and knowledge. If you are an accountant, you probably need more mathematics skills, but it's different from an engineer. You probably need to know how to count money, okay, which is my favorite subject. All right, so that's competencies. So just now I asked you what are the skills that are important. So maybe Ethan, we can share what do our audience think are important skills to have.
All right. Okay. Can you see the result?
Okay. We see here critical and problem solving is the highest. And then you have communications and collaboration, creativity and innovation, information technology, flexibility. Oh, I'm surprised that media literacy is very low. Can you all see? And language skills. Oh, you all don't think that language skills are important. All right, okay. And so if I look at this, the top three that we have here is critical thinking and problem solving, communications and collaborations, creativity and innovation. And ICT comes out also quite strongly. All right, okay, good. Okay, let's see. Okay. These are examples of competencies that we have. You know, Ethan, are we going to be sharing the slides with the participants later?
Sorry?
Are we going to be sharing the slides with the participants later?
Which slide?
Or I mean, what I presented here.
It's up to you. If you wish to
All
share,
right, okay.
then we can do
So
that.
I guess if anyone wants the slides that I share, or further information, or just wants to ask questions outside of the session later, I will also leave my contact details so that you can also get it from me, yeah, or get it from Eason lah. So these are some of the examples of competencies that we have. When I look at this, right, these are some of the basic ones, and you all said it just now. Communication is very important. Teamwork is very important. But at the same time, especially going into 21st century, we are already in the 21st century, and especially for you all who are going into this new new working world, right? Digital savvy, digital competency is no longer an option for you all. And when I talk about digital competency, it's no longer just about using a laptop or being able to what you call this to go and use Microsoft Office applications. It's no longer just that. There is a lot more of digital competencies that you have to focus on these days. You will have to if you look at it, some of the things that you will have to do. What are the 21st century skills that you need to have now? You look at it, you have information, you have media, you have technology, you have scientific, ICT, finance, even financial literacy and cultural literacy is something that is important for you. Okay, you need to be able to, for example, I sent my son for coding class. Okay, my sons are 17, 16, and 13. And I foresee that they need that. They need coding class. So I send them for a coding class. And at the same time, the coding class also has what they call YouTube engineering, a program that they call YouTube engineering. And I don't know, I mean, if you ask me 20 years ago, I wouldn't have thought of having this savviness, the ability for you to actually be in front of a camera or a video conferencing. But during the last 1 year, I realized that it's something that is important, because how I present myself, how you all will present yourself on videos are important. So when I first heard about YouTube engineering, I laughed. But now, when I think about it, it is something that is important, because it's not just about being in front of the in front of the video, shooting some clips or what, but it's also understanding the technology and the engineering that goes behind it. How do I edit? How do I include sound? For example, you guys use TikTok. You're familiar with putting in text on your videos or your pictures, and you're familiar with adding music to it and layering your video, and all that is important now. And when sometimes people say, oh, I am going to be an engineer, I don't need that, or I am an accountant, I don't need that. But you know what, especially in this day and age, all that is important. So when you look at the 21st century skills, like sometimes I'm scared for my sons and for you all, the new ones, because there are things that I don't know. But there are things that you guys grow up with, and it's something that is familiar to you anyways. So it's just something that you just need to have and to do. And with especially these days, right, there are just so many resources that you can engage, and you can go on. My sons learn to cook on YouTube. I use my sons a lot in my examples, yeah, because they do that. They learn to cook on YouTube. When I ask them, do you know how to do something? And they will say that, oh, mommy, we learn on it about it on TikTok, which is true. So there is just so many resources right now for you to learn. So there is really no excuse for you to say, oh, I don't know, my university didn't teach me this, my lecturer didn't share with me, or or when you start working, you're gonna say, oh, my boss left me to my own, and I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to write, I don't know how to create what do you call these presentations and all. You no longer have that excuse, because it's all about your attitude. It's all about your, you know, again, that the part just now, which is your character. This is where it is, you know, whether you are willing to learn or not, whether you are willing to just, you know, look for things that you can do to actually start to enhance your career. And these days and age, the world doesn't stop for you, you know, and that is so true, especially now. Okay, you are no longer in a school environment or a university environment where your lecturers will come in and share with you the notes for the day. Chances are you go into meetings when you start working, and first of all, you don't know a lot of people in the meeting. And then chances are you don't know some of the things that are being discussed in the meeting. Obviously, there are times when you will, you know, raise up your hand and ask, but at the same time, you will also know that there are a lot of other resources out there. So Google is a good friend. When I started my, you know, my role in PM, I didn't know anything about what I did. You know, other than, so I was hired more because of my character, because of, you know, my attitude, right? But I learned. Why? Because one, I look for people who know, and at the same time, Google become my best friend, because I was just Googling as I go into meetings, and if I don't understand what they are saying, they use certain terms that I don't know, I just Google what it means. And that's how it is. It's your own initiative, and it's your own, what do you call this, a willingness to learn. And that is something that, as a working person, as someone who is going to start on a career, on your job, you need to remember that no more is the day when you have your lecturer will say, okay, come in, I will share with you what are the notes for the day and things like that. You are now in a different world altogether. Okay? So I don't want to scare you, you know, because there will be nice people who will be able to help you and all. But at the same time, you need to be able to remember that I am now on my own. I need to do this, and find the people who will be able to support me, the tools that are there out there that will be able to help me. Because there are a lot of things that are out there that you can use, and you can start to you know, engage with. Okay. All right. I wanted to touch just one bit on competency before then I start to ask to answer some questions. Okay, is that because of the pandemic, there are a few competencies that I think are important for, especially for all of you. Okay, and it actually is not just for all of you, for all of us. Everyone who's working, who, you know, who is alive right now, there are a few competencies that I think that is needed. One thing that the pandemic has taught us, I think, is that you are not in control. Sometimes there are things that you just don't know. You know, you thought that you're gonna have 2 weeks of MCO and be done with it, and you having 1 year of MCO and you still don't know when it's gonna end. You know, so the ability for you to adapt and to deal with the unknown is very important. When I say adapt, right, what does it mean? It means that if, let's say, you know, you've always been, you're always so used to, let's say, katakan, working from the office. Suddenly now you have to adapt and work from home. And when you're working from home, what do you have to adapt to now? You have to maybe look into your work schedule. Previously, you may be working from your dinner table. But now you're gonna have to, you know, after a year, you realize that, hey, I need a proper space. So you have to adapt to that. And then not knowing what it is, you know, what's gonna happen tomorrow. It's okay to not know. But at the same time, it's not okay when you take, when you know, don't bother about it. So that's not okay. But, you know, being able to say, I don't know, but I will do something to find out about it, or I will do something to adapt to it, that's something that you will need. Okay. The other thing that I think is very important is also self-management. Because why do I say self-management? Because, you know, before when you start working, because like today I have someone who is coming in to report to me. And the first thing she asked me is that, where do I meet you? What time do I meet you? And then I told her that, oh, I'm not going to be, you know, we're not working from the office. We are still working from home. Then she realized that, oh, okay, then how do I manage this? And that's how it is. Being able to have the discipline of, okay, still waking up at 6 o'clock, or, you know, and taking a bath at 6 o'clock, and be prepared, because usually when you work from office, maybe 6:06 you dah keluar, kan? After dah get ready and all. So now 6 o'clock you are still at home or still in bed. But actually, the discipline of having that schedule is still very important. You still need to wake up, you still need to go take your bath and get ready and dress up nicely. I know a lot of people who said that, oh, I am in my kaftan the whole day, which is me also. You know, I stay there, but that at the same time, I realized that I need to start, you know, having wearing nicer things, just so that I have that same, the mindset is set, you know, okay, I am going to the office right now, although it is just, you know, beside my bed, and I'm going to switch on my computer and I'm going to start working and dedicate maybe 3-4 hours of, you know, full time work. And then after that, take a break, stand up and take a break if you have lunch to prepare and things like that. So it's about, but you know, dulu in the office, there is always someone who will, you know, be looking after you. But now it's about you yourself. So you have to have that self management. So this pandemic, if anything, it teaches you that, you know, there are things that you will need to have to do for yourself. Okay. And the other thing that I want us, especially for you all, is be resilient. When I say resilient, what does it mean? It means that it's just, kalau the negative word for resilient is usually degil. You know, orang kata, oh, dia ni degil, tak nak, you know, tak nak buat certain things different in the way that it is being done. Resilient. You must have the ability to just power through whatever that you need to have to do. So kalau hari ni tak dapat buat, hari ni, you know, you can't do something, or you don't know a particular task, you just continue to do it. And you just continue and go through it and don't give up. Because resilience is about not giving up. There are days when you feel tired, you want to give up, but at the same time, you know, you can control that, and you will be able to go through this. And this pandemic will be over, inshallah, soon. And, you know, I hope that the things that you learn, even as a student and, you know, going into the working world, will help you to be a better person, you know, moving forward. Okay. I've been talking way so long, so let's answer some of the questions. Let me see before I go on. Yeah, Ethan, do you have any question that you feel we should answer?
All right, so now we have quite several questions. I saw one interesting question from Kamalia.
All right.
So regarding to the character, how to avoid people from misjudge my character even though I show them my actual self. For example, I am being my actual self, like being friendly, but people saw it as fake and I try too hard to please people.
Okay. Character is something that you know, it's over time, kan? One thing that you must be clear about is that first, you're not there when people can gauge tahu. People boleh tahu kata when you are fake, because you know why? There are things that you do that you may not realize. So for example, if you say that you're a friendly person, okay, and people say that you are being fake or trying too hard to please people, first of all, don't bother about it. You know, if somebody says that, oh, I think you're fake, or you know, you're just being too nice, or you're being a pushover, don't bother about it. If it's truly yourself, continue doing it. Okay, that's the first thing that I will always tell people, or even my team, my sons, you know, whoever that I come across, you know, who ask me this, you know, because when you start to look at the assurance ataupun the feedback from always from people, then only you realize, oh, people kata I fake. So what? If that is you know yourself, if you know that you are a friendly person and this is how you treat people, if you say that you know, being nice is something that is yourself, then don't bother about it. Don't bother about other people saying that you are being a fake. So, but character is something that is built that is shown over time. You know, so be consistent with it. Don't worry about people misjudging you, but because over time people will see that, oh yeah, you know, she is like that. Kamalia is really friendly, and she, you know, she is really the nicest person. So it's okay. Okay. Sebab kadang-kadang kita ni takut nak tunjuk diri kita ataupun nak be our true selves because kita takut orang kata. That is the thing about a lot of us. And a lot of people think that, you know, what you show on social media is that true self of a person, when actually it's maybe 1 or 2% of the person itself. Okay, so how to avoid people? Don't avoid. There will be people who will misjudge you. Be comfortable with it, but there will also be a lot more people who will, you know, who will like you for who you are, who will appreciate you for being friendly, for being nice, or being, you know, a people pleaser, and be thankful for that. Okay. Next.
Okay,
Let me see.
a question from Hanis. How to cope with co-workers who ambil kesempatan with our kindness? Example, give us a lot of work or give his work to us.
How do you cope with co-workers who with our kindness? Okay. And this is something that I pun kadang-kadang ada problem with it lah. You know, in terms of for me, I have a different mindset. When a person gives me a job or things to do, I have this mindset that, oh, you know, people trust in me, and people believe in my ability to do the work well. Hence, they gave it to me. Hence, they give it to you. Okay. So I look from if you feel that you are able to do it, look at it from a positive mindset, from a different perspective, is that whatever that they are asking me to do, I will learn from this and I will be able to enhance myself from it. Okay, so be positive about it. When people give you work or whatever, you know, if you are able to do it, go ahead, do it, no problem. Okay. However, when you feel that, you know, so for example, if they give you a work to do and they start taking credit for it and not acknowledging the fact that you are doing it, this is where then you start to have to be smart lah. You need to be able to, you know, engage with the right person. So for example, kalau katakan it's a project that is within your team, you know, you'll be able to show to your boss that you are the one who actually have a role to play in completing the project, for example. Or if you feel that strongly about it, you talk to the person. Hey, I feel that you know, I can't do this well, or ataupun have a talks. Usually problems at workplace is that there's a lot of assumption and people don't talk to one another. And with Malaysians especially, we find it very difficult, especially when it is you know, negative, what we feel is negative ataupun not nice things to talk about. We tend to keep quiet. And for me, it is not about keeping quiet and being nice. It's about being able to say kata, for example, if you really don't know what to do, you ask them, you tell them that, okay, this is something that I cannot do. Or you can talk to your superiors also about it. Don't be afraid to talk to your superiors and talk to your colleagues about it as well. Being open and communication, engaging in one another is very important. Kalau you tengok the skills to have for us to be successful in a working world, one of it is communication. And you all said it yourself that communication is very important. So talk. And doesn't mean that when you talk to nak bergaduh terus lah. Kalau macam I will practice, in front of the mirror first apa nak cakap. And you do that. Because kalau tidak nanti kadang-kadang nervous kan nak cakap, especially macam sekarang ni pun kadang-kadang bila even di presentation pun I nervous nak cakap. So I practice in front of the mirror first. So that's how you do it. But communication is very important. You must stand up for yourself. Okay.
All right.
What else?
So, do you want to answer another question?
Yes, I'll answer another question before we go and with the next slide.
Okay, so Fatin asked about what are you looking for an ideal candidate? What are the qualities are the most important?
What mana Fatin punya question? Atas ke bawah?
Atas.
Sekejap. Okay. What are them? All right, what are them? I think I said it just now. For me, an ideal can be the thing that I look for when I am looking for a candidate is actually one, their character and their attitude. So it's not so much about your quality. So for example, I work in I do design thinking. So obviously I will need people who who are a bit more outgoing, who is able to engage others, who is able to communicate well and present well. Okay. But those are given, and those are some of the things that I think I will be able to train my team members as they go on. I don't leave them, and start to say, okay, you must be able to already know how to create a very nice, what you call this PowerPoint slides, or create a very nice video and things like that. Those are things that you may have the basics, but I will, those are things that I will look forward to training. But your attitude, your character is something that is very difficult for me to train, because you come to us, at the age of 22, 23, you've lived with your parents, with your family and your friends. And those are your, what you call this, the influencing factor, in you growing up and being the person that you are currently. So I look for that. I will ask things. Usually I will ask things like, what's your hobby? What do you do when you have your free time? Just to sort of know that person. So that, for example, if a person says that, oh, I go out hiking, then I know that perhaps this is a person who is active, who is a go-getter. These are things that I will look for. Qualities that are important. Obviously, communication, being able to communicate is actually very important in this day and age. There is no question about that. The other thing is the willingness to try anything, to try new things. So your attitude in being able to to have this mindset that, oh yeah, I'm okay if you do this, if you give me this task, because you know what, I will do, I will learn something from it. So that's, I think, is very important. The rest of it, you will be able to develop, inshallah. Okay. Okay, so let's continue first. I think I have another just about 5 minutes, and then we can answer some of the questions also, if anybody has any more questions. Isan, do you want to stop sharing for a while?
All right. Yeah. So
Okay.
we will answer the other question later.
Just a bit. Yeah, give me. I just have 1 or 2 more slides, because I think I want to share. I want to share this, especially with the pandemic happening and the new way of work.
Okay.
Stop share.
Mm.
Okay, how do I do this? Oh, sorry. I will share back. What can you all see right now? Ethan, what can you see?
I'm seeing your presenter mode.
Okay, all right.
I think you need to share only PowerPoint. Yeah.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, I didn't lose you all yet. Hold on, yeah. Give me 5 minutes, then I will stop. Okay, last thing that I wanted to share with you all is that, especially these days and age, right? With the digital environment and the workplace that you currently have, workspace which is at home, is how do you manage your job stress as well as the digital fatigue that majority of us are going through. All right. One thing that you must remember is that you are really at the start of your journey. It's gonna be, you're gonna have maybe 30, 40 years, of not necessarily at the same place and same job, but doing things that will help you earn a living. And then some of you may say that, oh, I wanna retire at 40 or 30 or whatever. But still, at this point, you are working to actually earn money, to earn a living for yourself. So one thing that you must remember is that it's about continuous learning. Continue to upskill and reskill yourself, and don't worry about it. You may start right now. I have a degree in accountancy, and few years down the road, you say that I don't want to do accountancy anymore. I want to be a aid worker, and start to volunteer in the third world countries, and do that, and you will learn to do that. Okay, so be open to opportunities that are around you. Okay, so that will help you in terms of surviving and the ability for you to sustain yourself. All right, and then determine who you want to be. Is also important. Don't go into a job and a career and just don't know where you want to be in 5 years. I know that the world is currently moving so fast, but at the same time, have a clear goal of who you want to be and where you want to go. If let's say you say that I want to be the CEO of telecom in 20 years, be clear about it and know what is needed for you to be the CEO of Telecom Malaysia Berhad. Because that will give you a guideline of what skills you need, who you need to know, what you need to do, what you need to learn, and things like that. Right? So lastly, last one, take care of yourself. Okay? I know a lot of people say, alah, baru nak start kerja, dah fikir, dah start to fikir all these things. But the reality of it, when you start working, you need to be very clear from now about the balance of your work life as well as other parts of your life. Spiritually, your mental health, your physical well-being, what you eat, what you do, where you learn, what you learn, semua kena ada. Okay, you have to have a balance of yourself. So kena take care of yourself from all angles. Jangan fikir kata, oh, I start kerja, so I nak, what you call this, I will only look into my professional development. Because when your life is imbalanced, then that's where you start to have stress, and that's where you start to have anxiety and nanti sakit, and sakit sometimes is a symptom tau. It's not necessarily the reason for you being sick. Is usually it is actually a symptom. So kadang-kadang you kata asyik pening kepala or migraine. It could be because you're not eating well, or it could be because you haven't gotten sunset, you haven't gone out for in the sun for the longest time, so vitamin D tak ada, or kurang, kan? Or if for you, for us, for me, macam I Muslim, do I pray? Do you have, even non-Muslims also, you have your own religion, you have your own belief. Take some time to have that, spiritual self to also be taken care of. Okay, so last, I guess, quote that I want to share with you all is about working is not the end of it. Yeah. It's actually you need to find a balance and a happy balance between work, your friends, and family. That's how you survive, and that's the skills that you need actually. One of the most important skill that you need to have is the ability for you to balance between work, friends, and family. And because work is going to be a big part of your life pun, 30, 40 years is going to be, what you're going to be doing. You need to be able to be satisfied. So Steve Jobs said it, I think, very nicely. Your work is going to fill a very large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Okay, and there is a Confucius saying that, if you love your work, then you will not work a day in your life. Something like that. I can't remember the full, the exact sentence. But truly, you must love what you do, whatever that you do. Okay, in order for you to be able to be the best. Okay. All right, so let's look at some more questions. Listen.
All right.
Alamak, sorry, sekejap. Okay, this is one of the challenge of working from home, and suddenly, the apa nama tu, truck sampah datang and
Yeah, I feel related because I'm also working from home.
okay.
All right. 1KB, do you want to move to next slide showing your context?
Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. Okay. This is my contact. You all can, contact me either through my email or through LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so if you have any questions or you need, someone to talk to ask any further questions or whatever, you can do that. I think there is 2 more slides, right, that I want to go through, Ethan?
I think we can move on to the Q&A session, right?
All right, okay, let's go. I'm happy with this.
Okay, so just want to remind the audience, if you want to get the slide from 1KB, you can visit the TM career booth on our official website, Digital Career Fest. And also I think you can ask from 1KB from LinkedIn. Yeah, my colleague will post the link in the chat box later. So now we move to the questions. So, okay, one question from Dzun. Can I know how usually TM help fresh graduates to adapt with TM's company culture or guide them to perform the best out of them?
Okay. We have obviously there is an on board orientation for new hires. So that's one program that the new hires will go to. At the same time also, what happens is that you are given, you usually you work with your team members and your bosses to also identify what are some of the skills or what are some of the requirements that you need in order for you to do the job and to be familiar with it. So for example, if let's say my team, someone who is on board coming to my team, I will usually assign a buddy, someone who you will work with. At the same time, I will also have one-to-one sessions, and this is what usually the bosses will have also, is that a one-to-one session. TM has what we call the individual development plan program, where we actually identify first of all, you yourself identify what are the things that you want to develop. So for example, if you come in and you know that your communication. So for example, I tak reti buat PowerPoint slides for presentations. Then you will identify that as one of your training requirements, for example. And then TM will also have programs for what do you call this, for new hires, trainings. We have ongoing training programs, and the HR has also identified certain programs that you can request. One thing that I will tell you all, is that don't wait. I know that there is a tendency for a lot of us to just say kata, okay, bos tak cakap pun pasal ni, ataupun nobody shared this to me. But really the success of you is in your hand. You need to control it yourself. So kalau you rasa there are things that are lacking and there are things that you need to have, you need to raise up your hand. Macam dalam any meetings, kalau or in any situation, you raise up your hand and say that I need help. And that is what you do. Jangan suffer in silence and then lepas tu tak apalah nak resign terus. Because you see why, kalau you dapat masuk PM, I feel that PM is huge tau. There's a lot of departments, there is a lot of division, there are a lot of things to do. And if you feel that okay, just because you baru join one department ataupun one team, and then lepas tu you rasa I tak nak lah, tak suka lah, tak suka kerja ni, and I don't want, I want to leave. Chances are sometimes talking to your boss or talking to HR will allow you to discover that there are other places within PM itself that you can explore and go to. So jangan dapat satu job and terus kata or in one department and terus kata tak apalah, I tak boleh survive here and I leave. Okay? Sebab I selalu find it rugi tau orang to leave PM without saying where they want to go or what they want to do. Unless you dah explore everything, then or with HR ke, dengan your boss ke, or even with other departments, you dah explore, then you kata, okay, really, I don't think PM is the place for me, then okay. So so that's that lah. Always communicate. Okay? Lagi?
Alright.
Maybe we want to answer last two questions kot kan, Ethan? How many questions have we answered anyways?
We have answered 5 only.
Alright. Okay.
Right, so
Okay, I'll keep it
next
short
question.
and simple.
Okay, next question from Lukman. So he's asking about the skill enhancement for professional jobs. Does it necessary for him to go enhance his skill by taking part-time jobs for few months before applying for a professional job, even though it is not related to the position he wants to apply?
Okay, mana dia question dia? I can't see Lukman. Oh, Lukman. Professional job. Professional job, I would take something macam engineer ke atau accountant ke, or lawyer ke. As we know, many companies start to hire less professional position because of the pandemic. To enhance my skills by taking part-time job. Yeah, there's no harm in doing that. No harm at all in doing taking part-time jobs. And I, for one, when I studied, I also did part-time jobs. Because you see why? And remember, I said just now about the character and the attitude, and this is what it is. When you take part-time jobs, you are demonstrating a different level of willingness to do work. Okay, so even if it's not, so for example, you're studying to be an engineer, and you take a part-time job as a barista at Starbucks. Okay, glamour lah sikit. Okay, it's okay. Kalau orang tanya apa dia relation dengan being an engineer kan, or a network engineer, tak ada. Tapi you learn a lot kot from being a barista at Starbucks. You learn how to deal with people and to what you call this, meet their demands. You learn how to measure so that you make a good coffee. You learn to deal with other team members. You learn to communicate with strangers. So it's not necessarily, if you say, let's say, katakan you belajar nak jadi engineer tadi, network engineer, you must do a part-time job in that also. Because the skills, what you call this, the attitude that you show when you are doing something else is also very important. So yeah, go ahead and do part-time jobs, even if it's just for what you call during your your semester break or whatever. At least it shows that you have tried to do something for yourself and learn something different. So yeah, next.
All right. Question from Norfaika. Nowadays, there are so many fresh graduates are unemployed. Since we are moving towards Industrial Revolution 4.0, it seems like they need to learn in various skills that sometimes it is not totally related with the degree study that they have. How to adapt with this situation, and some of us feel like wasting time taking the degree because at last it is not being used.
Change that mindset. Change that mindset of yours that, or I learn, let's say katakan I take degree in social, in mass communication. And now I am going to be doing customer service. So no relations whatsoever. Okay, change that mindset, because as far as I'm concerned, and I know, knowledge is never wasted. Whatever you learn, and to be honest, when you learn something, let's say katakan you currently like myself, I learned my degree was in HR and financial analysis. If you ask me now, I'm so far away from financial analysis, I don't even know how to do my management accounting and things like that anymore. But is it a wasteful journey for me? No, it's not. Because you see why, when you go into a role later and as you go on further, you will notice that there are times when you will fall back on some of the knowledge that you have earlier. So if let's say katakan today you need to adapt and do different things. So what? So be it. Learn. I said it just now, kan? Learning is an ongoing thing. You need to be open to always seek for different knowledge, different information. And in this day and age, the knowledge and information can come from anything. It can be a formal classroom, taking a university degree or postgraduate degree later on, a professional what do you call this, training. It can also come from YouTube. It can come from TikTok. It can come from a Coursera course. It can come from just reading a book or an article. It can come from another sitting with another person, going for short courses, short trainings. It's all that is valuable. So the first thing that you must do is change your mindset that oh, I wasted 4 years learning to to be an engineer, and now I'm a chef. Okay, because with a chef needs to know how to measure, how to recreate recipes and things like that. And the discipline of what you learn from engineering can also help you there. Okay, next.
All right, so I think we will pick up the last question.
Okay.
From Lear Seal. So
Ooh.
what should we do when we are being assigned too many tasks, or some of the tasks are require some professional knowledge which we don't have currently? Should we just take the task, or we should reject it? If reject it, will it have a bad impression to the superior?
When you don't know what to do or how to do certain things, first of all, I think there's two parts of the question, right? First is one is being assigned too many tasks, and the other one is I don't know the tasks that are assigned. Betul tak? That's the question, right, Ethan?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so when I think this is a similar question as before. When you are assigned too many tasks, what you do is that you have to learn how to prioritize. You need to learn, okay, make a list. And I know that is very old-fashioned. People say kata, okay, old-fashionednya nak make a list. But that's what it is. I think making a list of all the things that you need to do and then prioritizing it. According to urgency as well as importance. Is it important? Is it urgent? So you need to be able to put it into that various the two quadrants, whether it's important or urgent, or is it urgent important but not urgent, so that you know to prioritize. And the second question is that if I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to do it, do I say no? It is okay to say no. However, I usually would encourage saying no with also showing the willingness to learn from what you don't know. Okay, so for example, if I am given a task right now, my boss give me a task, KB, I need you to go talk to the, and do the, and talk to the Minister of Finance. I'm like, I don't know the Minister of Finance, I know who he is, but I don't know him personally. Okay, so one thing you need to do is that, okay, I don't know how to do this, but at the same time, I will find a person who knows the Minister of Finance and go talk to that person for an introduction, for example. A simpler example would be, okay, you are assigned to, is your first week at work, and I want you to design a survey to ask your colleagues where they want to go, for team building session. So you would think that, oh, I don't know what is a team building session, and what is required from a team building session. Admit that, okay, I don't know this. However, I think, if you share with me who is the right person whom I can talk to, I will do it for you. So, there is always that, don't give the direct no, and because if you say, I don't know, it just demonstrates to me your attitude of say, first of all, you are not interested to do the work, and you don't have the initiative to even find out about it. Okay, so it's always, I don't know, but I will do something about it. So then it will show that, okay, memanglah kita pun tak expect everybody to know everything. I don't expect you to know everything, but what I want you to demonstrate is the ability for you to rectify that, the fact that you don't know. Itu yang paling penting, because that will show your attitude. Again, to me, it's all about attitude and about your character more than anything else. Okay?
Okay, thank you for 1KB for the answer.
I'm so
Uh,
sorry. One thing I realized, oh my God, there are just so many questions. And I'm so sorry that I am not able to answer all the questions. However, if you feel that you really want some questions to be answered, how do we do this? Whether you can email to me or is this portal open for us to answer some of the questions ke? Macam mana, Isen?
How about they can contact you via LinkedIn?
All right. Okay. Yeah. If any one of you want to contact me via LinkedIn and to ask the question again, please do, because I just realized that I have almost 40 plus questions that I still not answered. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I think I will take over the screen sharing.
Okay, please do.
Okay. So can you guys see my screen now? All right. So again, please help us to vote for Telecom Malaysia on Graduate Choice Award and share to your friend, and you will stand a chance to win the attractive prizes. Okay. I will give you around 5 seconds for you to take a screenshot or scan the QR code, right? All right, I saw a few of you guys done voting. Thank you very much. Okay. So for the question that 1KB doesn't answer you, I think you can leave it for the next session from TM also. So this session is also free of charge. If you are interested to join, please register yourself on our website, and it is presented by Mr. Mazan Deraman. All right. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, everybody.
This is the contact that you may want to follow. And I think we would like to do a photo session, yeah, with 1KB. So guys, if you wish to take photo session, please raise your hand, then I will send you on to the stage, all right? All right, it takes a little bit. Okay, guys, please don't feel shy. Show your face. Right, anyone else want to raise your hands? All right, please open your camera. we have few more to join us. Guys, get ready. Open your camera.
Still waiting.
Yeah,
Okay.
still waiting you guys to show your face. We will take the photo in 5 more seconds. So I will count down from now. All right.
Thank you for all the
5,
participants.
4,
4,
3,
3,
2. You guys can have any pose you want. Okay, 2, 1. Okay, wait a minute. We should take the second photo. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Smile. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
everyone.
yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
everyone's participation and questions.
Remember to vote for Telecom Malaysia and register yourself for the next session. Okay, bye-bye.